Media Mind, the daily podcast, your go-to source for all things digital and a place where we unravel the mysteries of the digital age. I am Maya Santiago, and today we're diving into unmasking the media. In this episode, we'll be exploring the media and cyber digital literacy. We'll discuss three subtopics which highlights. The first one is the future of media and digital technology, exploring the emerging trends and their implications, digital literacy in education, and digital divide to address the gaps in access to technology and digital literacy. So whether you're a tech-savvy individual or just starting your digital journey, this podcast is for you. So grab your favorite beverage, sit back, and let's dive into the exciting world of digital and media literacy. Folks, get ready to dive into the digital world. For today's episode, we have three special guests that will share their insight as we unravel the mysteries or what inside the digital and media literacy. So let's have first the Sign Master and all-around digital whiz of Valley College. Let's all welcome here Miss Abigail Romero. We've got another real treat for you as we present our second guest. Joining us here is Miss Shaira Aliana Soriano, who's been making waves in the Bachelor of Secondary Education, major in Social Studies, and who's been passionate about empowering people with digital literacy skills. Last but definitely not the least, another special guest. Let's welcome a person who's not only incredibly talented, but also incredibly passionate about digital and media literacy. Joining us here is Miss Nicole Limueco. So since we're focusing on the topic of media and digital literacy, which we have three subtopics. First one is the future of the media and digital technology, exploring the emerging trends and the implications. So, in your perspective as a student or as an individual, how do you view the world of media?
For me, I view media as vast, dynamic, and influential. So it serves as a powerful tool, and kung walang media in terms of education, nagagamit natin siya as for entertainment, and in education, meron tayo mga articles and documents available online. Meron din tutorials and podcasts wherein matututo tayo doon kapag halimbawa na meron tayong hindi natutunan during the discussion, pwede tayong magkaroon ng self-learning through watching those videos. And during pandemic, an example is yung naging useful siya sa atin because of the distance learning. Meron tayong different platforms like Google Meet, Google Classrooms, MS Teams, and Canva, wherein doon tayo nag-upload ng mga subjects, ng mga lessons. Meron din mga videos na ina-upload yung mga teachers para mapanood ng mga students yung lesson nila. And during those times, naging useful siya kasi distance learning. Hindi mo na kailangan pumunta ng school, hindi mo na kailangan ng interaction with other students face to face.
So for me, katulad nga ng sinabi ni Ate Abby, it's a powerful tool kasi nga, di ba, for me, nagagamit ko siya to voice out my opinions, ganun, especially when it comes to mga social media platforms na Facebook, ganun, pag may mga current issues, na share ko yung mga opinion ko about it. So, yeah.
For me, I view media as the Internet of Things. Especially nowadays na yung kahit anong bagay na i-search mo, ilang click mo lang, nandyan na. Parang, it's helping us na mapadali yung mga bagay na hindi pa natin nalalaman. At mas na bibigyan tayo ng mga ideas with the media in more comprehensive way.
So, all in all, media is really a big help for us.
Yes.
So for our next question, so how can we ensure the equitable access to technology and media in a rapidly evolving digital landscape, especially that not everyone, not every student can really access to this type of medias.
So for me, dapat siguro meron tayong subsidized internet connection or mas mababa yung singil ng internet connection. Other than the tool itself na halimbawa sa gadget, dapat ay merong mura or kayang i-afford ng lahat yung ganong klase ng privilege.
Na kahit mga nandun sa kabundok-bundukan ay makaka-access sa simpleng prepaid wifi, ganun.
Actually, meron naman. Kasi, unlike before na ang tataas talaga ng price ng mga, for example, mga mobile phones na, ang unlike ngayon na meron ako may nakikita ako, mura, 2.5, 3K, mga ganun ba? Parang ngayon, makikita mo talaga na pinipilit talaga na mas marami maka-afford, especially yung mga hindi talaga privileged na makakabili talaga sila.
So yun, for me naman, I agree naman with all of them. Pero di ba, may mga funds naman na yung government, especially sa mga public schools, nagbibigay na sila ng mga free tablets, mga laptops, and sa mga teachers din. So I think, for me lang ay maggaan pa ng marami pang pondo. Kasi hindi lahat nabibilin eh. Madaming estudyante. So yun.
The government really has something to do with for them to afford this kind of
Yes.
services.
So it's on them.
Yes. Okay, let's move on. How about this one naman? How kids today changing the way media is made?
So yan. Kasi nare-revolutionize na ng mga kids yung social media. And then, doon napapasok yung pagiging digital natives and immigrants. So ako, nung pinanganak ako as immigrants, kasi nung pinanganak naman ako, talagang wala naman kaming talaga.
Wala pang masyadong
Oo, yung
access sa
technology. So, yun, mahirap mag-adapt. Pero as we can see now, kasi di ba, yung mga bata ngayon, talagang fun na when it comes when it comes in watching, yung
talagang
Mga
24
Cocomelon.
hours. 24 hours na ay
nakatapat na lang, naka-screen.
Tutok.
Yes, nakatutok na lang sila sa screen. So, yun.
I think sa akin, meron siyang dalawang side na-effect sa mga bata for now. Kasi, meron siyang positive and negative. Doon ako sa positive. When it comes sa positive, unlike before na yung mga, ito naman, isa sa positive is yung mga bata is nasa bahay na lang, na hindi na sila lumalabas, unang-una iwas nila makakuha ng sakit. Tapos parang one of the, sa nakikita ko ngayon sa mga napapanood ko sa social media, napakaraming bata na content creator, they making their own videos na to inspire na sa mga nakapanood sa kanila.
which in return nagkakaroon din ng nakaka-earn din ng money. Yung money.
So sa akin naman, kung merong positive, meron din negative. So napapansin ko, since nakatutok na rin lang naman yung mga bata sa mga gadgets nila, nagkakaroon sila ng social isolation, which is nag-lead siya na hindi sila madadevelop yung social skills nila. Next naman is yung unfiltered content exposure. Kasi hindi naman lahat ng nasa online nakikita ng bata ay appropriate or age appropriate para sa kanila. Meron ng mga posts and trends na talagang hindi para sa mga bata.
Papasok din dito yung yung pagiging data literate ng mga bata. Kasi sa dami
Dapat
natin
i-filter.
i-filter dapat. Kaya dapat guided pa rin ng mga parents.
So talagang yung media parang na-revolutionize na yung mga bata ngayon on how they think, on how they move around our society. So when it comes to naman the rise of artificial intelligence, which is greatly used or which is used by many, especially the young or the students, how can we evaluate the advantages and the disadvantages of using it?
Yan, when it comes naman sa advantage, so talaga nagagamit naman ng AI when it comes in ACADS, pagbuo ng mga assignments, so nakakatulong talaga siya. So for me, ang disadvantage lang niya is dapat maging papanuri when it comes in using that AI. Kasi hindi naman lahat ng information dyan ay talagang tama or talagang
The ethical use must
Yes.
really be there
Yes.
while using AI. diba?
I think one of the advantage din is yung lalo na sa mga sa mga machines na company na sila na talaga yung gumagawa na parang mas madali yung trabaho. Una-una madali yung trabaho, mas naging marami yung production ng mga products nila. And then one of the disadvantage naman nito is with the rising of AI, nawawala yung manpower, na maraming nawawalan ng trabaho, natatabunan yung mga physical na pwedeng gawin ng mga tao.
So sa akin naman, based on experience, the advantage, ChatGPT yung nagiging takbuhan ko when generating ideas o kaya pag may tanong ako. Kaya lang, kapag halimbawa kagaya nun, about sa assignment, nagpa-fact check din ako. Hindi lang ako nag-rely sa ChatGPT alone. Nag-check din ako sa Google if andun nga yung information. Yung disadvantage niya is misinformation. I experienced this kasi hindi ako aware na ang ChatGPT pala hindi siya nag-contain ng mga legitimate na articles at saka sources or yung links kung saan siya kinukuha. So, ang nangyari before, nag-try ako doon mag-check ng RRL para sa thesis namin. And buti na lang, chinek ko siya sa Google kung available siya kasi kailangan ko yung link. And nakita ko, hindi pala siya available online and gawa-gawaan lang pala siya ni ChatGPT. So yun, ang isa sa disadvantage niya is misinformation.
Yung nangyari sa akin.
So we really need to be responsible on using it. So it really can give you tawag ito,
Think
yung gamit, yes, think before you click. So at the end of the day, while we are using it, it's our responsibility to use it wisely. So let's dive into our second topic, which is our topic to the digital literacy in education. So since all of you here are education students, you are a
Science.
science
Third year
major and also social studies major, which is what year? Third year students. So I think this will really greatly impact your personal experiences on how, especially that in the field of education, we need to employ, we need to deliver topics using these digital or mediated forms of visual aids. For example, the PowerPoint presentations. So this is my question. So what does digital literacy mean to you, and why is it important in today's education system? Look, we have different curriculum. How can we really adapt using this different digital literacy? So how does it affect us, especially that we are 21st century learners?
I think digital literacy plays a crucial role when it comes to education, both for the teachers and the students. Kasi nga, yung curriculum natin is nagbabago. Kasi nagbabago yung need ng society natin. Para mag-meet sila, kailangan may baguhin, kailangan may ayusin. Pumapasok dito yung curriculum planning, curriculum implementing, at curriculum evaluating. Wherein kung may dapat baguhin. Tapos, when it comes naman sa mga learners natin, especially ngayon, di ba sinasabi nga natin as a future educator, we should be the knower. Kasi nga, transfer tayo ng knowledge sa ating mga students. Kaya it's good na yung mga manggagaling sa atin is database. Yung fact lagi siya. Kasi di pwedeng misinformation, di pwedeng, yes, dapat yung evidence-based tayo when it comes sa pag-transfer ng knowledge sa ating mga students.
So for me naman, di ba, we're in the 21st century learners. Tama ba? So for me naman, di ba, we are in a 21st century. So kailangan natin mag-adapt dun sa pagbabagong yan. So kailangan natin i-equip yung mga skills, yes, needs when it comes doon.
So ako naman, I agree with both of them. And isa rin lang is yung dapat ay maalam tayo mag-filter ng misinformation at kung ano yung fact. wherein sa digital literacy, dapat ay maalam tayo mag-filter out and hindi lang dapat binabasa or sinusearch, dapat ay naiintindihan rin natin kung ano yung sinusearch natin.
I think also another factor yung as a teacher, since all of you are education students here, yung marunong mag-evaluate ng PowerPoint presentation, marunong sa Excel, mga software skills para
Kaya nga, parang it's good dito na not only into students, na dapat yung mga teachers natin na nag-undergo din ng training.
Yes.
Dapat may mga training.
parang as far as I know, there are seminars
Yes.
given by the
Oo,
government na in order for them to gumamit ng Canva, parang sa
Mga ICT
schools,
related.
also the ICT rooms. There are ICT rooms na pwedeng magamit ng mga students na
Makatulong.
makatulong talaga. So for our next question, so as a student, how comfortable are you with the digital tools in your education and what could you improve your experience?
For me, I'm very much comfortable na with the uses of different digital tools. Lalo na yung sa, before, during pandemic nga, meron tayo mga Google Classrooms where naging useful siya. Tapos mga Gmeet, doon nagla-lesson yung mga teachers, doon nag-discuss. Canva, na nakakapaggawa ng mga projects, ng mga posters. And ways to improve siguro in using them. Pag Excel pa, panonood ng mga tutorials on YouTube kung paano pa gamitin or ma-explore yung app.
Because there are really sites na mahirap i-gamitin, na mahirap
Yes,
i-access,
yes.
and more on, meron din na may bayad.
Subscription. Ay, at some point naman na yan, I agree with Mang Abu na especially sa pagbaba ng mga instructions coming from teachers, mas mapapadali talaga siya. Na isang click mo lang, andyan na, makikita na agad ng mga students mo. Pero at some point naman, para sa akin ay, kagaya ko, hindi naman ako ganun ka-privilege. Like for example ako, wala naman akong laptop. Pero I'm aiming na
You're able to
makasabay,
work,
yes. Kahit gano'n na natututunan naman.
So for me, I am comfortable naman when it comes in using digital tools. Actually, nagre-rely na nga talaga ako kasi di ba? So pag emerge ng mga Canva, ganun, mas madali ko nagagawa yung mga ginagawa ng
Tatlo
mga
na siya. Pag may
Yes.
ganitong hanap, takbo dito.
Especially sa major namin ngayon, tatlo ang demo.
Yes. So talagang nagagamit ko siya and then very helpful talaga. So yun.
And in that way, parang mas napuproduce natin, nalalabas natin yung creativity natin
Yes.
sa paggamit ng
Uh,
mga tools na yun. So for our last topic, our topic 3, which is the digital divide, addressing the gap in access to technology and digital literacy. So here's my first question. So how will this digital divide affect the different age groups such as children and other adults?
So yun nga, sabi ko nga kanina, di ba, yung sa when it comes in digital natives and immigrants. So tayo, naabutin naman natin yung technology, pero hindi pa tayo ganun ka, talaga, when it comes in using technology. Pero yung mga digital immigrants kasi, di ba, hindi na sila makasabay when it comes in using technology. So, yun, when it comes to mga elders, mga
Tayo
tayo
still in the process.
yes, in the process of,
of learning. Okay, boss. Let's put it in a simple way. Ganito kasi yan. Kagaya nun, nung bata tayo ang tinuturuan magsulat.
yes.
Pero ngayon, baliktad na. Tayo ang nag-introduce sa kanila sa technology na. Kagaya sa simple mobile phone, kung paano gamitin, kung paano mag-access, tayo ang nagtuturo. Parang baliktad na ngayon. Dapat pwede rin natin silang paluin pag hindi sila nagtuturo.
Pero meron mga matatanda na ngayon na yung sa TikTok,
Oo.
yung TikTok na
Pero
nag-limited
limited siya.
Yeah, limited.
Meron namang mga elderly na kagaya nun, ayaw na nila talaga matutunan. Kaya lang, dahil nga emerging ang technology ngayon, kagaya ng paggamit ng
Makisabay.
kagaya ng paggamit ng ATM. Kasi kapag sa pagkuha baga ng pension sa
Yeah.
sa bangko,
Withdraw.
ang gamit na kasi nila ay ATM. So, ngayon, ayaw nilang matuto. Ang nangyayari, nagpaturo pa sila. So, gano'n nangyayari. Hindi sila marunong ayaw nilang matuto, anong nangyayari? Nagiging expose din yung password baga nila or PIN dun sa
ibang tao.
Oo, possible na
Walang
manakawan
privacy
sila. Oo.
Pero papasok pa rin dito yung yung privilege at yung hindi.
Yes.
Kasi, siyempre, pag privilege ka, andyan na eh.
Maka-access ka agad.
Makaka-access ka kahit anong gawin mo.
Ay, how about yung mga nakatira sa mga
Bundok.
Yes,
As
minorities.
Yes.
Walang...
Yun, mas lalo na siguro kung mga IPs,
Yes.
mga indigenous
How
people.
about the seminars or the mga... Ang tawag din yung pumupunta sila sa bundok?
Yan, like outreach.
Yeah.
Yan, outreach program na...
Para maka-access.
Oo. Like yung, na-try ko yan, experience ko siya na mag-outreach. Parang habang on the way kami papunta dun sa location is nag-video kami ng mga different spots and
Scenarios.
oo.
Mga
Then,
nag-add.
nung pagdating namin sa place, nag-ongoing na ang event, tapos meron kami projector doon na, tapos plinay namin, tapos tuwan-tuwa sila na nakikita nila yung sarili nila doon na parang mga sila. With that, parang na-experience namin sa kanila, parang naibigay namin yung...
Parang once in their life, nasabi nila na they got the experience.
So for our last question, so this one. What strategies can be implemented to reduce the digital divide? The questions that we have earlier. And to improve the digital literacy.
For me, ang naiisip kong strategy dito ay siguro mayroong mga public wifi or public hotspots na pwede magamit yung mga tao, tapos meron din makapag-implement ng mga seminars kasi never pa akong naka-experience or maka-encounter ng seminars na para sa public talaga na about sa ICT. Kasi mostly ang naririnig kong seminars about ICT is for educators, for employees, at saka for students pa.
So yun nga, dagdagan. And then,
Mas palawakin.
palawakin.
Sa akin naman na yun, di ba yung sinasabi nga natin, no one strategy fits to all. Kaya dapat, hindi lang government ang pwedeng sisihin. Wala tayong dapat sisihin, nasa tao na yan. Kailangan lang, tulungan lang talaga. With pag-disseminate ng instruction, ng mga dapat gawin when it comes to government, education, LGU, NGO, kahit saan. Parang, for the sake of our country to be developed. Kasi as of now, developing pa rin talaga tayo eh. Kaya nga, kailangan, wala tayong pwedeng sisihin dito. Parang kailangan, sa halip na magsisihan tayo, magtulungan tayo. Take actions. Sa halip na, government wala namang nagagawa, walang
Instead na magreklamo,
Yes.
ask yourself if
Assess yourself.
Yes. So yun, dito din papasok yung dapat mag-adapt din tayo ng mga strategies na ginagamit ng mga nasa ibang bansa. Kasi as we can see naman talagang
Develop
especially successful talaga.
Japan.
Yes. Sobrang po kasi
European countries.
Yeah.
Parang some countries are already living in 2015, sabi nila.
Sinasabi nga nila na in more counting years, AI na nagtatrabaho para sa atin.
And then possibly, mga teachers, AI na din, mga robots.
Kaya nga lang, mawawala yung affective domain na tinatawag natin. Kasi
Yes.
nga,
Mga
robot,
robots.
walang heart.
Malay mo, So all in all, ang ating point ngayon is how can we really be media and data literate on everything written in the internet, even mga printed medias. We need to evaluate this kind of information if it is really true or talaga kailangan natin i-check if the evidence are really given facts. All for today's episode. A huge thanks to our guests for joining us today. So we've covered a lot of ground here from topic 1, topic 2 to topic 3. So I hope you learned a lot from it. So remember that you can find more information on our site. Just visit the Media Mind Daily Podcast. So I encourage you to reflect on what we have discussed today and on how can you apply these ideas in your own life. So let's work together to create a better future. Don't forget to subscribe, rate, and review. Until next time, keep learning, keep growing, and stay curious. So this is the Media Mind, the daily podcast, and I am your host, now signing off.